Anna, and I'll be presenting my research portfolio and like just what is it about, like what communities can it help, um, and some of the information of like how it might help them. Okay, so I want this to be in all of Sacramento, like including like our other, like not just Sacramento, but like Elk Grove, such as Heights, anything that is near us, because I do have some that are near us, some programs that are for like that are located in Central Heights. Um, this is for low income families, and I do want to be centered on the base of infant and toddler, based on infant and toddler, just because I do have Head Start, and honestly, we need to start like helping the community from the root, not from the branches. So like when I mean by the root, I mean like help our community from the beginning, especially low income families with like little kids. If you want those kids to succeed, and if you want those kids to have like a better life, you got to start from when they're children. And this is also for college students. I do have some information for college students. So family services can help my community, or our community actually, um, throughout the area of Sacramento by like government, usually by like government financing, or like nonprofit organizations, meaning they mostly run like by donations, and they're mostly to help you with essentials. And they sometimes, when they have enough money or they have enough volunteering or donations, they go way beyond giving clothing. But what kind of clothing? They don't just give you something to wear every day. They give you from clothing to look professional for your job, to look professional for your job interview, to look professional for internships. So this is mostly based like for adults and like college students who need help. Um, but I mean, if you're a 16-year-old looking for a job, you can just tell them, "Hey, I'm looking for clothing for a job interview." So they help you a lot, honestly. Um, and there are also like little things like programs that can help children um, go from a bad foster care program to a very good foster care program. So we do have like those little things, and helping parents look for children for adoption, because that is really hard sometimes, and I understand that. Um, so something that I want to ask you, and it's a little bit personal, but it's very important, is do you have insurance? And if you don't, we do have, I do have a link right here where you could go to the California Department of Health. I think that's, if I remember it, a link. Um, so you can check it out, and it's mostly applications and like what the applications are for. So the application is for Medi-Cal, and I think it's another insurance. I can't remember it on top of my head. It's for the one that I remember. It's Medi-Cal, and they help you a lot. I do have also urgent care as one of my portfolios, and it's mostly for like low income families. Um, and I do have some programs that help the elderly. So if you need some, I have disability services. The way that this help is in your community. At least in my community, I have a lot of people, elderly, young, who are disabled. And I always thought of, how do they get help? Well, I do have several programs that help you with either medical equipment that you need, anything that kind of you need physically, like to help you to live, to continue living. But then there's also programs that if you do have a disability of any kind and you're able to communicate, to move very well, this includes from Down syndrome to just having to having to transport yourself with a wheelchair. So there's no stopping you as long as you're able to think for yourself, and that you're able to like do some stuff by yourself, that you don't need help. There's organizations that are willing to train you and help you. on how to live everyday life and how to live on your own and how to transport yourself either from like your car to like your buses to helping you get a job and how to work in that job. And that is very helpful a lot of the times. There is also, mental health is something, honestly, in our community, in every community. It doesn't matter if you're low income or rich. This affects everyone from all incomes. But since I'm just basing off low income, all the programs that I listed are mostly free. They help you with all kinds of mental health issues that you need. Either if your anxiety is really high, if you're dyslexic, if you're depressed, they help you, and they don't limit the age gap, which is very nice since a lot of the young kids in this community already have depression because of the situations that they live sometimes, and they have very high anxiety most of the time. So this is very, very nice that they include teens. I do have some organizations that just include teens and just include adults. But there is other organizations that can help all community, and this is very helpful because when you're really high anxiety, it's really hard for you to find a job, or it's really hard for you to maintain a job, either because you can't work with customer service or like you just have to work by yourself, and it's very helpful. And sometimes when you're depressed, it's really hard to get yourself off your bed. Um, from what I've been told too, so it's very nice. I do also have links that help you understand to stop the stigma, like having depression. It is bad, but at the same time, you shouldn't be judging it like as, oh, you're just sad, you get it over with. It's to stop that stigma. And there's also, not in those same links, there's also hotlines in case you need to call an emergency hotline, suicide hotlines, which is very nice. Housing is something that I was affected with almost, and I now that because I was affected with, I totally understand that every community is affected with, and it's very nice to have programs that they're not free, but they help you find affordable housing. So I know the memes. I know everyone is trying to say that California is very expensive, but if you find those programs, which I do have listed, they help you find affordable housing. I also do have programs that help you not just find affordable housing, but in case of an emergency, that like you need a house now. Either your house burnt down, or you can't afford it at all. They're emergency living. And there is also for women who've been abused, and there's also housing for if you're homeless. Now, if you're homeless now, that's something that you have to prove that you're homeless and that you can't afford a housing. But it's totally fine. It's totally okay if you're homeless because those programs will help you a lot. Okay, volunteering. Now, volunteering, though it might not seem to help your community, but volunteering around your community can affect it a lot, especially your mental health and physical health. Not only because you're moving around, you're getting out of your house, but because you're helping your community around you. Like, now, let's say that your community is trashy. I'm sorry, but there is trash, and you volunteer to what's it called, to basically just pick up the trash from your community. Now, ends or from not having a job, not going out, there's honestly, for right now, there's nowhere that you can go. You can't even go to a park. But FYI, if you want to go somewhere with your kids, go to the American River trails. I have one very close to me, and it's totally free. You see a bunch of people walking. I walk my dogs once a week there just because it's like a 15-minute drive for me over there, but it's very nice. You can go swimming, you can go grill, I don't know, whatever you want to do, but it's very nice. If you want to go for a walk, it's a very nice walk. So just go ahead and go to the American River trails. Okay. besides that, if let's assume there's no coronavirus, you can go to the state capitol, you can go to the jelly bean factory, and this just helps your community just to like go out and look around you, and honestly you are offered with a bunch of opportunities that you didn't know. And it helps you educate your kids. Since we're talking about toddlers and infants, it helps them educate your kids. Maybe going to the jelly bean factory might not educate them so much historically comparing to going to Old Sacramento and going to the railroad museum, but it will help them just get their imaginations like just okay, college information. Now I struggled with college information. This is mostly based for like ingoing high school to college students. Um, but I do have some information if you're a freshman or barely a new student that you can just go to your 4-year colleges and get a counselor and get all the services like MESA and stuff. So I included the link for in my portfolio for Sac City, and I included the one for Sac State, just to get all that information and get a lot of help from there. And I also included some information for ingoing college. For ingoing high school to college students trying to like get into colleges. I do have some people who would like to help with this, and we will help you like just do your application and whatever you need for your college. Okay, I would like this to be for I would like to share this in my babysitting job, friends and co-workers, and at school. Mostly friends and at school, friends from school and friends from. Hey, I learned that this honestly when I made my portfolio. At first, I thought it was just like in people in general, but I learned that it not only does it help people in general, but it helps me and people around me who I never thought would need help. Like, for example, my boyfriend or my sister's friend, people around me who I thought would never need this, but actually do this information. And I also thought, and I think I might want to change it if I do share my portfolio, is the creativity. I wanted it to look more professional, so I wanted less pictures, just onto the point. But then I also thought, oh my goodness, I have to be creative. So that's why I put more pictures. I try to be more creative. I'm not really creative. So yeah, I just learned that I'm not that creative. So I would like to be a little bit more creative in my other future presentations and future projects. Okay, thank you, and I hope you guys have a nice day.